Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Jason,
I'm Andy.
and we're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, unfortunately, one of our regular employees is on vacation, so Megan has to be out on the floor. She's out there helping customers live right now. So, you won't get to see her this week. It's just going to be Andy and myself you have to deal with.
So if you liked our Tuesday show, good. You get another dosing of us.
Yeah, so this is the show where we show all the comics that are still open order. All right, so basically, comics are supposed to have their covers all ready, everything ready for people to order by Friday at noon. And then we retailers have until Sunday for DC or Monday for the other publishers to put in our orders. It's a very, very small window.
Yeah.
So this show is all about showing you everything as much as we can so that you know which ones to place your orders on because the orders placed by then are guaranteed.
Yeah.
After that, you'll be going to the store. You'll be hoping that they ordered enough, that the stuff's still there. But today is your day, well, the next few days, to place your order to guarantee you get this stuff. So,
And it's a big week.
yes, a lot of good, a lot of good things we have to show you. A lot of cool variants. So I believe we're going to begin with featured comics. So let's get to our first one.
And what better thing to feature than the death of the Justice League? It says they're right on the cover. Spoiler, right there on the cover. If you're expecting the Justice League to live in this one, you'd be mistaken. So this one's cool because DC actually allowed us a chance to read it, which I just did before doing the show. It wasn't colored. It was all black and white. It still had like DC notes on it and stuff. But I gotta say, the cover doesn't lie. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Yes, the Justice League dies. Now, I will not give away anything other than that, but this is I would say, a direct continuation of Justice League Incarnate, the miniseries that just ended a few weeks ago, but it does have a really nice recap within the story of the events of basically all of the stuff that's been going on leading up to this. So if you didn't read any of that, it's okay because this is a good jumping on point because this is going to lead directly into Dark Crisis, the new big event at DC coming, starting with, I believe, Free Comic Book Day is going to be the jumping off point for that.
Yes.
So, not a whole lot to mention about this issue other than it is a action-packed issue, big fights. It's not a spoiler to say, they're going up against the Dark Army, which is this kind of group of shadow versions of some of DC's biggest villains. So someone has brought them together, and it consists of Doomsday, Trigon, Necron, all the Gons. But no, it's really cool to see them all together. That it's cool to see how each of the Justice League members kind of reacts to some of their biggest villains all at once. There's some big surprises. There's more characters in it than have kind of been teased on the cover, and more deaths than are teased on the cover. So I'm really excited for people to read this. I'm really excited to read it in color because some of the panels are just going to look amazing. But really cool. Definitely get this if you're planning on reading the big event this summer, Dark Crisis. So this is our A cover. We have our JANIN cover. We have our Alex MALEEV. And we have the Jurgens variant, which after reading it, this cover is very interesting because I kind of know what's going on. And yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this cover.
Yeah, see, this is the cover I'm familiar with. This is the one that was on all the news sources, several months back that were teasing this very thing. So,
without looking at it too close, there may even be some characters, unconfirmed deaths that are in that crowd too.
They just didn't know they were dead yet.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe when it's in color, I can see some of the background a little bit better and everything. But there's a lot in this, so.
Yeah,
really cool.
I'm glad they gave us a preview copy, even if it wasn't colored yet. That's great. Okay, so next up from Marvel, This is Captain America Zero. So this is a one-shot comic. I'll make that clear to begin with. However, this is going to launch off eventually into two separate new Captain America comics that are ongoing. So how is that? Why does that work? So in this one, Armin Zola is threatening New York City with I don't know what, yeah, some terrible threat. And so it takes both Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson simultaneously becoming Captain America. So in this, it's a 32-page one shot where we have two Captain Americas, and it seems like by the end of it, they're each going to get their own book.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the issue zero launch point
Mm-hmm.
for two new Captain America series, one with Sam Wilson and one with Steve Rogers. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's really cool. I've been waiting for some new Captain America series.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'm more like. I guess Sam Wilson. I kind of want to see
It's a
more
little
of him as
fresher.
Cap.
It's a little like, okay,
Yeah.
what's he going to do this time around?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the premise of this.
They have dual custody of Bucky. He has to spend like a couple of issues with one and then
he's
travel
he's
with
kind of
it.
nice to Sam, but he's kind of angsty to Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the main cover, which is an Alex Ross wraparound cover. So this is the one side of it, and then you get the other side of it, which makes complete sense if you were wondering, hey, where's Steve on the cover of this? He is. He's just on the other side. So very.
I think
cool
this is the
wraparound.
Mark Brooks.
Oh,
because then
yes.
Alex Ross is doing individual covers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we sit a little far from the screen.
But it's cool to
That's
look in the
definitely Mark
background. You
Brooks.
see, Red Skull. You see MODOK, Bucky, Sharon. It looks like there's going to be a big cast in this one.
Okay, well, and I'm glad they made it 32 pages for that reason.
Yeah.
That just gives it that little bit of breathing room
Yeah.
that a good one shot needs. So next up, we have the Hamner Spider-Man variant, and then we have the. So this is the Alex Ross Sam Wilson cover, and then we have the Alex Ross Steve Rogers cover.
I like how Falcon's like, it's fun to fly in the sky. Captain America's like, oh no, I'm getting poured on by lava.
By lava,
Someone got the short straw on that.
Oh, man.
Okay, next up is a new book from Image called A Town Called Terror. And this is actually by Steve Niles, the creator and writer of 30 Days of Night, and Simon Kudransky, who was a long-running artist on Spawn. So you've got kind of a perfect horror pairing for this. And I remember them teasing this leading up to it, being like, this is going to be scary. Like, this is a true horror book. What's interesting about it, too, is Steve Niles said he's trying to do something that you don't see often, and it's combining crime with horror, which I'll be very interested to see how that works out. But in this, it's about a man who gets kidnapped, and his wife is trying to find him. There's not a whole lot of information, but it does talk about the kind of horrors when the man wakes up and he finds where he is. And I think it's kind of alluding to this town that the title's about. And in an interview, that the creators were talking about, they wanted this to be full of monsters. So sounds really cool, like a town full of monsters. But this is our A cover. And this is the Daniel variant.
Creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. Not a whole lot of information. Like, the monster thing was from a separate interview where they were saying they wanted to do a book that has less humans, more monsters. So it sounds like you're going to have a small cast stuck in a very scary world. Almost kind of like a Silent Hill type thing.
I see. So here's some more horror that is coming from DC. A new Sandman book. This is called Sandman Universe Nightmare Country. And this is an ongoing series. So if you're not already bored because it's new ongoing Sandman, I have two more reasons that you might want to pick this up. Reason number one, it is the return of the Corinthian. More on that in a moment. One of the scariest Sandman villains. I mean, my first time reading through Sandman, I got to that Corinthian part and I was hooked. That and the serial killer convention that was going on when that all took place. The other reason is it's written by James Tynion,
Yep.
So
It's not completely gone from DC.
yeah, they've got a very, very good writer, somebody we know can do good horror on this book. So how is the Corinthian returning? The Sandman is actually going to allow him, because Corinthian is one of the scariest nightmares that Dream has. Dream is going to let the Corinthian back out because there's another nightmare that is roaming the earth that has to be stopped by him, who Morpheus, or not Morpheus, the Sandman did not create.
Mm.
So here's this other nightmare. Where did it come from? Who made it? How did it get there? And how could it be so scary? You have to unleash the Corinthian on it. So you could tell that DC knew with the Sandman going to be turned into a Netflix series,
Yeah.
and all the news on the Corinthian, that it was a good time to have some new stories about these characters. I'm just really glad they put James Tynion on it.
Yeah. Maybe the nightmare guy is somebody with like hot dog eyes, and so they can like go right up against each other.
Speaking of eyes, look at this variant. He has to wear the cool sunglasses and lower them to scare you. And when he has the sunglasses up, the smile is actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
But it's really what is behind the eyes. So this is the Paquette variant.
Next up, we have a new one-shot. Once again, it's Marvel, so it's a little hard to find out. Is this a miniseries? Is it a one-shot? Is it an ongoing? This is a one-shot by Ralph Macchio, not the one you think of. He probably gets really tired of hearing that at like conventions and stuff. But this is a new. I mean, they're really beefing up the Doctor Strange, getting ready for the movie. And in this one, Nightmare, the character Nightmare, has invaded Doctor Strange's dreams and turned them into kind of horrifying real-world nightmares, which has drained Doctor Strange and made him very weak. And now Baron Mordo and Nightmare are going to team up to go after Doctor Strange. So it just sounds like a really cool one-shot. We've got Strange going on. We don't have any Stephen Strange in anything, so they're getting him out there in case you missed him with this one. And yep, it's just a one-shot. So this is our A cover. And then we have the LARROCA variant.
So this sounds like it's sort of just a tale from the life of Doctor
Yeah,
Strange.
yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like, are they spoiling that he's coming back? Because in Strange, he is not back.
Yeah, no.
It is Clea. She wants to bring him back, but it seems like that's going to be a while.
Yeah, no, I believe this is kind of just a tales from Doctor Strange's life.
All right, very cool. So Red Sonja is getting a new series called Immortal Red Sonja. So this one is going to have Red Sonja when she is much younger. So it's before a lot of her other adventures. This also digs into like a lot of sort of English medieval legend, like King Arthur times. So the deal is Red Sonja has a cursed suit of chainmail. I think it's on her right now. Now, it doesn't say what the curse is, but she's got to get rid of it if she's ever going to get to go on awesome adventures. So she's seeking out Merlin, and as she's doing that, she's being pursued by the Green Knight.
Oh.
Now, being that this is called Immortal Red Sonja, I'm guessing that the chainmail makes you immortal, but at a price.
Yeah.
At a, like some kind of really terrible price. And also, you have the Green Knight going after her,
who's also immortal.
Exactly. So that is what the premise is here. Before the show, Andy was joking that it's funny because Red Sonja has finally found a shirt.
Yeah,
that's a lot of the premise. She found a shirt and it's cursing her.
That's why after this she's gonna swear, I will never wear a shirt again.
Right, and have so much better covers for it. So speaking of covers, this is the regular cover by Nakayama. Then we have the Yoon variant.
They've gotten some really great cover artists.
Just laying on a pile of gold.
But so just nonchalant. Just like, whatever, I do this all the time.
Here is the LINSNER variant. And then we have the IZAAKSE variant.
Very King Arthur. Lady in the Lake.
We have the Lee variant.
Love seeing Jay Lee's stuff.
And so then there is this Liefeld homage variant of New Mutants 87.
Yeah, with all the
first appearance of Cable.
Yeah,
is what that was. So
okay, next up, this is not a number one, but feel like this is definitely falls under the featured part of this category because this is Hulk number 6. You've probably seen this cover for a while, but this is the issue that truly introduces the what Donny Cates is calling like the biggest threat in Hulk history. This is the introduction of this new character, and one of the people at Marvel described it as Hulk's null. So, if that gives you the scope of this, this is going to be a major threat, probably for a while in the Hulk books. And the way Donny Cates creates characters, this is going to have some lasting impact, I think. What this is about, though, is we've had Bruce Banner piloting the Hulk as almost in a control room, cockpit type thing, controlling Hulk. But his control over him is starting to loosen, and something else is going to pick that up. So I think this is the first kind of hint at what's coming, but I think this is going to be a slow build to, just like Null appeared pretty early on in Venom.
Right.
But it took a while before we got to King in Black. I think this is going to be the same way, but I'm not sure if the issue 5 is going to be maybe first cameo and then 6 is first full appearance or what. But they are definitely pushing this issue as being a big one. I'm very excited about it. Of course, this is by Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley. And I also say this promises to shake the Hulk mythos to its core. So if anybody else said that, I'd be like, yeah, right. But Donny Cates has done it with quite a few characters now and really told a whole new area of their history.
And Marvel gives him a lot of leeway.
They do,
because of success of his writing.
So this is our A cover by Ottley. We have the Garner Spider-Man variant. I just love the idea of Hulk swinging through the city. It's a lot of fun. We have the Ottley variant. And then, that's how you also know it's a big deal, there's a spoiler variant. I imagine this probably has a pretty good picture of this new threat to the Hulk book.
So again, this is a lot of what our show's about. Whatever store that you order from, this is your chance to order any of these covers, as many as you want, and know you're going to get them instead of going in the store after hearing this is a big issue that Wednesday, hoping to grab one or two, and there's none left. So, okay, so next up, we have a new ongoing X book, Legion of X. So this feels a lot to me like it spins out of Way of X. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because it is a Nightcrawler-led book again. So pretty much the premise is supposed to be that Nightcrawler and Legion have to bring justice to Krakoa. So how that's going to work out, I don't know. But when you have Nightcrawler involved, he's a very moral character. Mm-hmm. He's somebody who cares a lot. He has a lot of heart, a lot of thought to him. It's definitely not going to be just them putting people on trial. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be them trying to make sure everybody is treated right in, this sort of still new country mm-hmm. of mutants. Also in the book and on the team, as you can see on the cover, is Pixie and, funny enough, Juggernaut. So Juggernaut, it says he's going to be their one-man riot squad. I don't know if they mean to start riots or to stop them.
He's done both.
Either one's. A lot more starting with him. So that's what's going on with Legion of X. And as I've said a lot on the show, sometimes it's hard to know if things are ongoing or not. Mm-hmm. I find that particularly hard with certain Marvel books. This is an ongoing book.
Okay.
So
a lot of new ongoing X books coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. After the Hickman era, a lot of people have come in to do other things. So this is a regular cover. This is the McKelvey design variant. Then we have the... actually, before I get off this one, I remembered one other thing about this book. There's supposed to be a first appearance of a new character whose name is Weaponless Zen. So it's spelled not Z-E-N, like it's spelled close to it. It's Z-S-E-N. Weaponless Zen. So, but anyway, so we have this McKelvey design variant. We have the McCone promo variant. We have the Todd Knock headshot variant.
They're still going.
And then we also have this Robles variant. All right, so next up, we're going to get to other number ones. They aren't featured, but you might care about them even more.
It's a good way to think about it. So this is a new book called Triskele or Triskelly. I'm not sure. I think it's Irish Celtish because this is based on events and characters from Celtic mythology, and it follows a young character named Alec Ellis who is granted magical gifts, but in doing so, kind of upturns his the power structure on his island he lives on called Albion, and it's just described as like a real deep dive and adventure in Irish and Celtish folklore. So I was like that. We don't get a whole lot of that folklore in comics, so sounds really cool.
I think at some time in history, England used to be called Albion or something like
Yeah,
it, and then they used that as the name of the place in the Fables
in the
games.
Fables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, it was Charles Dickens. It's just a random history fact. Uh, Preferred people call him the Sparkler of Albion. So, also, funny thing about him, he would break into people's houses and rearrange their furniture. Charles Dickens a crazy guy. But anyways, that's just my fun Charles Dickens facts for the day.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
That is funny.
It
Yeah.
is.
Unless it happens to you.
Yeah,
It
then
might
not
be
funny.
terrifying.
Dickens!
Okay, so the next one we're going over is. Oops, I was on the wrong thing. It is a new one from Dark Horse Comics called Breakout. So this is just a 4-issue miniseries, and the premise is that these aliens with these cubic shape ships, as you can see on the cover there, they fly over cities and they start abducting people and putting them, they're like in these like cube prisons. So the authorities have basically tried everything and given up. Like they've given up hope. They've been like, our people are taken. These aliens are about to leave. What can we do? We don't know why. Maybe maybe in the first issue will be revealed as to why. So it's up to a high schooler whose younger brother was abducted and a bunch of his friends to risk their lives to try to get back his younger brother. So that is the general premise of Breakout. This is the regular cover, and then there's the Albuquerque variant.
The ultimate escape room. Okay, next up is for the Buffy the Vampire Slayers fans, but funny enough, does not say Buffy anywhere on the cover. This is the Vampire Slayer, and you'll see why. So this is from the writer of Eat the Rich, which is really cool. I really like that book. And in this is kind of a late in Buffy's career where she's kind of succumbed to the pressure and just the I don't know, just the taxation that being a vampire slayer happens to you. And so all of her comrades come together to try and cast a spell that would alleviate that, but it backfires, and thus Buffy loses her memory and her purpose. So when Sunnydale gets attacked, it is up to someone new to pick up the mantle of Vampire Slayer. So you can see here on the cover, it kind of looks like they're teasing a new Vampire Slayer, whether it's whether it's a character we know or a whole new character. I think that's pretty interesting, adding something new to the Buffy universe.
Yeah, huh.
Yep, so this is our A cover. And then there's this one, which is really cool. I believe this is Francavilla, and this is the foil stamp variant. And I believe all of the kind of blood on there, the orangey red, is foil stamped. And this one will only cost $1 more.
Yeah, that looks like Francavilla style.
Yeah.
He's good at doing the old style look, the sort of pulp horror look.
Yeah.
All right, so check this out. Here is a one-shot from Aftershock called Midnight Rose, and it is written by Jim Starlin. So this is a triple-sized one-shot. So it's like 3 comics in one. Just get the whole story out there.
To say, when it's the size of 3, it's like maybe you're just getting a 3-issue miniseries at once.
Yep, 64 pages, and it follows a character named Midnight Rose. It's pretty dodgy as far as what it's about. Like the solicitation is more about the themes of the book than
Mm.
anything, which the themes of it are loneliness, love, and vengeance. So, you just have to think Jim Starlin and those themes, and you get an idea. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the guy who pretty much created Thanos
I was
and
about to
what
say those
he's
things
about.
could be said about Thanos.
Correct. So that's all that really is said on this, but I think that's enough for most people to know if they want to check this out. So Midnight Rose from Aftershock and Jim Starlin.
And the one cover.
Yep, just the one
So,
cover.
okay, here's a new, really fun one. This is Fun with Little Archie and Friends special. This is a one shot, and I like a lot of the stuff that Archie's been doing. They have their pool of characters, and they kind of put them in different
A lot of
scenarios and a lot of
reimaginings.
reimagining. And this one's really cool. So this is from the writer of Lumberjanes, Shannon Waters, and in this, because of a spell Sabrina does, they are all cast into different video games, their favorite video games, and it's anything from like a D&D game to a idle farming sim. So it sounds really fun. It's cool that it's just a one shot. I like that Sabrina's in there, and I really like the styles they're doing with this as well. So this is our A cover, and this really cute variants by Williams.
I'm betting Sabrina's probably the one who takes him into the D&D
Yeah.
game, so that makes sense for a witch. Okay, so Kaiju Score is getting a second miniseries called Kaiju Score Steal from the Gods. So Michelle from the first series, she's back and she has her own crew, and they're going to try to do another heist. So the first premise of, or the original premise of Kaiju Score is it's some people doing a heist while a kaiju attack is happening. They're using that as a distraction. They don't control the kaiju. It's
Yeah.
just, hey, it happens every so often, and this time when it happens, we're going to do a heist. So I think we're going to see more of that. The other thing is this was the original Kaiju Score is optioned by Sony. It's supposed to be a movie. So this is going to be sort of the sequel to that. Not the movie, but to the comic series before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
They're adding more to the Kaiju Score world here.
And I think that says a lot for its development process, that they're like, one, we got to keep the name out there so people remember it, and also building up this mythology that we can use to do a movie and more explore the characters.
It's a really strong idea.
Yeah.
The elevator pitch for while a kaiju attack happens, these other people are using it to do a heist. And you know that things aren't going to go right.
Yeah.
And they're going to end up,
Someone's going to get stepped on.
Yeah. So this is the regular cover. And then here is the C cover. This is called the mask cover. So you just cut that out and put it on your face. And
Aftershock's been doing that. They did that with the
Bunny Mask did
the
it.
Bunny Mask and the We Live.
Right. We Live had two different covers for the white.
So
and the
you and
black
all your
issues.
friends can go as all your favorite Aftershock characters. Okay, next up is IDW's continuing to do these best of, which I love, and I love the consistent art style of the covers. So good. This one's Dungeons and Dragons Best of Minsk and Boo. And if you're unfamiliar with them, they are kind of I wouldn't say bumbling, but Minsk has some questionable sanity in the D&D universe that causes him to act pretty heroic, but for weird reasons. And his partner is Boo, the miniature giant space hamster.
Sounds chaotic good with a little bit of chaotic neutral leanings.
Yeah. But of course, everyone knows that the hamster does most of the heavy lifting in this relationship. Really fun stuff. Great stories. Jim Zub is the primary writer of this. Only $5.99. So if you haven't read any of this, this will be a great jumping on point for these new iconic D&D characters.
All right, a new one from Black Caravan. It is David Burns Cancelled. So, reading about this, the first thing I read was it is the first Black Caravan premiere comic. So I read that and I'm like, that's really cool. What is that? And I looked into it. They don't really say what that means. I have no idea what it means other than that they put the bar up at the top that says Black Caravan premiere. But I'm sure it does have meaning. I'm sure that we will eventually
Yeah.
realize, well, what's the difference between a premier Black Caravan comic and a non-premier one? But I'll just tell you, I looked into it. I did the research, so you didn't have to. It doesn't say anywhere. So the comic, what it's about is there's a TV show host who has been replaced. You know, he just kind of gets old and outdated, and he's replaced. So he tries to destroy the TV station, and in doing so, he gets electrocuted, and he ends up in the airwaves. But he still wants revenge. So I mean, it's all in the title, just
Yeah.
about. So David Burns canceled the new one from Black Caravan, their first premiere comic.
And I think he's supposed to go through like kind of different time frames of TV shows and everything. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, once again, this is not a number 1 or a number 2. This is a number 5, but it's the long-awaited finale to Last Ronin.
Oh, wow.
You've all stuck in there. I mean, so many big fans out there of this series. It's so good. But a lot of us are going to have to reread it from the beginning in one sitting so we can finally, refresh ourselves because it's been a while. But in this, of course, we see the final confrontation between the turtles, or the turtle, and the Foot Clan, and see how what happens to New York, who ends up protecting the city or destroying it. So very exciting that this is finally coming out. I'm sure there'll be many reprints after this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we've got spin-off series. This has been such a big hit, but very cool last issue.
So they're doing a Last Transformers thing next.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not on this show, but yeah, they're doing a Last Transformers, and I got to read that.
And then we got to have the inevitable Last Ronin versus Last Transformers throwdown.
Perhaps.
To see who will be the last of the last.
Okay, so speaking of Transformers, there is a Transformer Beast Wars annual that is coming out. And this is going to have 3 different stories. You're going to get to see more into the lives of different Cybertonians outside of the main series. So, I like these annuals for just like you grab them, maybe you haven't been reading the full series, but you get some isolated stories. They get to flesh out the characters and the world that they're in.
Yep.
So.
Okay, next up we have Naomi. This is for our number 2s. Just to remind you, so Naomi, season 2, number 2 of 6 by Brian Michael Bendis. And in this issue, it's guest starring Hawkgirl and the Justice League. I guess what's left of them, or before their untimely demise. But of course, this is a CW show at the moment, so Naomi Starr is still on the rise. And we have a variant for this. This is the photo variant from the show.
Yep. So as Andy said, we have headed into the section of our show where we're going over number 2s, number 3s, and awesome variant covers. So continuing on, this is the cover for Carnage number 2. This is just a regular cover. So a lot of what this is about is, what is the Carnage symbiote without Cletus Cassidy? And I think that is a great way that they took this story. I think it's really, really interesting. In the first issue, in fact, Carnage confides in another serial killer. He says, serial killing was Cletus's thing. That's not my thing. I actually have a different thing. We haven't quite seen what it is yet. So it's kind of a relief. It's like, oh, maybe you won't be serial killing. But on the other hand, it's Carnage. Maybe it's something even worse.
Yeah. It can't be with the name Carnage. He's keeping that look. It can't be nice.
Yeah, but he does not plan on necessarily picking up another host, which is really interesting that they're doing this sort of thing with them. So this is the regular cover. Then we have the Coella Stormbreakers variant. We have the Delato variant.
Great cover.
That is really good. And then we have the Hot Spider-Man variant.
It's interesting. It almost looks like he has wings or something on there. He's kind of a bat spider Carnage.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Deadpool Bad Blood number 2. So this is it came out, I believe, in 2017 as a graphic novel, and now they are splitting it up and releasing it as single issues. And in this one, Deadpool and Domino team up to find a super weapon, but it says straight up in the solicitation, the new character Thumper kills Deadpool. And that's a real bummer for Deadpool, but we've got more issues to go, so he's not dead for long.
I mean, I guess you can kill him, but he just like heals back.
Yeah.
It just means he doesn't heal immediately, and he can't joke at you right away.
Yeah, that kind of a relief.
Okay, so this is the main cover to Punisher #2. The series launched the other week, and in this, it's going to continue with the Punisher sort of leading the hand, and we're going to see where this goes even further. So we have this variant. This is the Aspinall variant for Punisher issue #2. It's a good time to sign up for the whole thing if you read that issue 1 and you're on board for the series.
Okay, next up, also #2, Gwenverse #2. This one's really cool because Ghost Spider is teaming up with Thor Gwen and traveling back in time to stop another Gwen Stacy from seemingly taking out all the Gwen Stacys. Plus, it says this will have Captain America Gwen Stacy. So we're getting some more of those mashups. It sounds really cool. Great first issue. So excited for this one. This is our main cover.
That is a nice Nakayama
It
main
is.
cover.
Yep. And then we have the Greg Land with the Night Gwen version of her on there, which may not be a good guy in this universe if you've read the first issue.
Yeah, Nighthawk. Anybody who's crossed with him is not good usually. All right, so this is the Michael Cho variant cover for Batgirls #5. So in this issue, the Batgirls, they go up against Tudor one more time and his mind-controlling powers. So again, this is the Michael Cho cover for Batgirls #5.
So this is really cool. This is the I Am Batman #8. Of course, Jace Fox is in New York now, being New York's Batman. But I really like this cover because that's what we know to become Batman and Robin, which I believe is his sister.
Yeah, Tiffany.
Yeah. So really cool with the background showing that. Very cool.
Okay, so this is the DeMeo variant for Superman Son of Kal-El #10. In this issue, Superman has finally figured out the full extent of the plans of Henry Bendix and how he wants to have a world that is pretty much against superheroes. So again, this is the DeMeo variant for Superman Son of Kal-El #10.
And then we have Wonder Woman 786. This is the variant for that. And this is also part 5 of Trial of the Amazons. And it says it's an extra sized issue. So I'm not sure if this is the final part. I think there's
Trial.
Yeah. But it is an extra sized issue where it kind of sounds like a lot of things are kind of coming to a head. And I believe this is the Ganichu variant.
See, this would have been a prime cover to put Jumpa on it. Where's the kangaroo? You got the animals.
See, she's jumping, but you should have Wonder Woman and Jumpa's pouch.
Yes, that's the cover I want to say. Okay, so this is the Peach Momoko variant for Avengers issue #55. So in this issue, funny enough, you were talking about Night Gwen. Nighthawk is back, and he hasn't been around a whole lot since the Heroes Reborn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He has with Black Cat, if you read all that, but. He's back doing something with the Avengers, and the solicitation sort of like, is he a good guy or a bad guy to them? I just think he's always a bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah, even if he pretends he's nice, and also he should be peeved about losing his universe.
Yeah.
Still. So Nighthawk is back, but also there's an all-new Serpent Society in this. So Serpent Society, they've had several versions of them, and this is the latest one. So this is the Momoko cover for that.
And continuing with that, this is some of the Spider-Man variants they're having, and this is for Avengers 55. This is the Sousa variant with Echo as a spider person.
A lot of little mini phoenixes around her.
Then we have Silk #4. This is the Bengal. And I kind of like that Silk just kind of has a pretty basic Spider-Man suit, but it looks really cool. Then we have the Silver Surfer Rebirth #4. This is the Rice Spider-Man variant. Really cool.
Okay, so this is the Ji-Hung Lee variant for Silk #4, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think people, like Andy showed this to me, he's like, this is going to be one a lot of people are going to
Yeah.
want. With her, I mean, she's making her own outfit out of silk. So
Yeah.
just very cool outfit. So what's going on in this issue though is that Silk's been going up against this Korean witch who keeps stealing people's youth,
Mhm.
and she's the latest victim. So she's like old in this. So you get like old woman Silk trying to stop this Korean witch villain. So
That's awesome.
but yeah, so this is the incredible Ji-Hung Lee variant. Go ahead and tell your story you want it now, because I bet it's going to be under ordered
Yep.
for all the people who see it later.
And this very subdued Silver Surfer cover by Pascal Ferry. And as Jason said before, if you're a fan of those classic, almost like Jim Starlin era space cosmic Marvel comics, you'll definitely like this.
Okay, so this is great. This is the Wolverine #20 Fornes variant. You know, if you've watched any of our shows over the last few weeks, Fornes has been doing a variant where each of the characters is looking through the shades, and they're a lot better than I expected because he's having a lot of fun with them.
They keep increasing in like how goofy they is when a character looks through shades.
Yeah, and you can tell he's looked through the shades a few other times with his claws because it's kind of messed up in the upper corner there and down in the lower corner there. So, but yeah, I like this one. Now, what's going on in the issue is that Wolverine has to team up with his favorite guy ever, Deadpool.
No.
He just loves teaming up with Deadpool, and that's what's going on in this issue.
I hope at some point they do a poster and it's like a building and it's all these characters looking out all the windows. They're all rooming together. Okay, next up is for Star Wars #23. I love this cover. I mean, ships are one of the hardest things to draw and really awesome, but we are still dealing with Shira Bay, Poe Dameron's mother, who is trapped on this derelict Star Destroyer and being hunted. So, really cool. This is our A cover. Then we have the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant, this time with Yak Face, everyone's favorite. And then we have the Renaud Traders of Dawn variant.
Okay, so this is the main cover for King Spawn #9. In this issue, the God Throne is nearing completion, but you know, Spawn isn't necessarily going to get just tricked into the trap. He has his own plans. I mean, this whole comic's called King Spawn. Is there any chance he's not going to end up with the God Throne and sitting on it?
Yeah,
but,
at least
you know,
for
the
a
way
short
he
amount
wants?
of time or something.
Yeah, so I would also like to mention there is a variant for this. It's a sketch variant, just a sketch cover variant. So if you're getting all the Spawn variants, you may want to ask for that one as well.
Okay, next up is some fun covers for Betty Page Alien Agenda #2. I like anytime they like make her like Lara Croft, and this one especially with the mummy creeping over the side. But in this, Betty Page and her team are looking for a stash of potential alien weapons. But this is our Burns variant. I really like this next one. She's had enough with this alien head. This is the Broxton variant. Just punting it.
Okay, so this is Evil Ernie #5. This is a variant, and they are calling this the Liefeld variant because I guess they're doing it in the style of Rob Liefeld somewhat. But this is clearly an homage variant. This is an X-Men 138 variant. You know, everyone's seen this cover. I mean, if you read comics like we do.
Yeah.
You know, Cyclops is walking away from the group. So I don't know why they call it. I don't know. Anyway, it's a Liefeld variant is what they're calling it on the sheets. So you may have to ask your store for that. But really, it's a X-Men 138 homage variant. Evil Ernie #5.
Then we have this really nice Rose Besh variant for Sheena, Queen of the Jungle #5. I really like Sheena is now kind of urban Sheena with her with her leopard coat and everything. Really cool if you are collecting all the Besh covers.
And that's a near nip slip
A
cover they're
near,
doing too.
very
So
near.
yes. And somebody mentioned that the X-Men 138 was also done again on New Mutants 99, which is true. You have Sunspot walking away.
Yeah, it depends
the
how
same
far,
way, so
how you want to keep going
I
back
guess that
to it.
okay. I forgot about that. So that's why they're saying the Liefeld variant, because
Okay.
Liefeld did that one. But all right. So this is the main cover to Berserker number 8. And in this one, it says that we will perhaps finally learn the secrets of B's birth. Now, we already know some of the situation of B's birth and why he's immortal, but now they're saying maybe in this issue we'll learn it all. And it also says he gets his memory back of a certain person named Redacted. You know, they'll do that sometimes, the solicitation. They'll put that, like you're not allowed to know. So it looks like some big things coming to a head in Berserker number 8. Here is the Campbell variant for that issue.
And of course, these will also have a foil version of the A
Yes.
cover and a foil version of the B cover. Okay, next up, really cool variant for Something's Killing the Children, number 22. This is the Frizzen die cut variant. We're still waiting to see that previous die cut one come in to really see what it looks like when you move the mask. But in this one, Erica Slaughter is going to London. And it sounds pretty cool to see her rather than a small town in a big city. So this is the main die cut variant. And then we have the bloody die cut variant.
Okay, so now we're going to do other printings and graphic novels, beginning with Captain Carter number 1 second print.
I really like this cover.
Yeah.
This is I'm surprised they didn't just use this for a variant for the main.
So if you want all the different covers for the number 1, this is the second print of it. If you missed out on it, the premise, it's an alternate Marvel history where Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum, but she did it for Great Britain, and so she's not exactly Captain America, she's Captain Carter because she's doing it for Britain. And of course she got frozen in the ice, she's thawed out in our modern day, and she's trying to, you know, reconcile all that.
Yeah. And Captain Britain's already a character.
Yeah.
So she just kept her name.
There you go.
Okay, and then this is for Moon Knight number 9, the second printing. So if you're collecting all the Moon Knight printings, you'll definitely want to get this one, getting closer and closer to the show coming out.
And the black and white on that looks great.
It does. I think the regular one is like a goldish yellow, and this one's the black and white.
Okay, another second printing. Punisher number 1 is going back to second print. So if you want to see what's going on with the Punisher and how he ends up sort of leading the hand, typically a group of assassins, this is your chance to pick that up, or to order it rather. And
you see Punisher use swords, which are not his main weapon, and he even comments on that of like, he's still learning. Okay, next up we got a few Star Wars second printings. This is Star Wars Han Solo and Chewbacca, number 1. A lot of talk around this one because of the surprise ending. We're still waiting on number 2 to maybe find out if this character is who they say they are. I still don't want to give it away, but it has a lot of people talking. And then we also have Star Wars High Republic number 15 second printing. I believe this is the last issue, or the kind of before they took their break of High Republic. So if you're getting all of those, you'll definitely want this one.
Okay, so for $19.99, you can get the full trade paperback of Crush and Lobo. This was a 6-issue miniseries where Crush finally decides to visit Lobo in prison at his behest. Lobo says he's getting therapy, and his therapy, he needs her to come to the prison. But of course, you know that he's got his own plans, which are terrible for Crush. So you can get this full miniseries now for $19.99.
Same with Ruby Justice League. This is the big crossover of the anime series Ruby and the Justice League, but mostly set in the Ruby universe, where you kind of get a Rubyified version of all of the Justice League. A really cool miniseries that came out a while ago, but finally being collected for $16.99.
And for $15.99, you can get Daredevil Woman Without Fear, the full miniseries. So, of course, Elektra took over the mantle of Daredevil when Matt Murdock had to go to jail. But then after he got out, she decided that she also would be Daredevil and continue on with it. Well, one big problem with that is Elektra's been an assassin before, and Daredevil doesn't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes on the new code she will not kill, but it is put to the test pretty fiercely in this when Craven the Hunter comes after her, along with somebody from her past. That has a lot to do with her training and training her to kill. So you can get this entire thing for $15.99.
And we're still waiting on the end of that one.
Yeah.
This one's still going on.
Still going on.
It's going to be a quick turnaround. Okay, and then we have this great series. This one really surprised and delighted me. This is the Devil's Reign Superior 4. That's also still going on, where Doc Ock goes to another universe and creates his own kind of Fantastic Four team of other versions of himself. But as you can see, there's a Ghost Rider version, a Hulk, and a Wolverine version, and it's really funny. Of course, they all think they're the smartest person in the room. So pick this one up for only $15.99.
For $39.99, this is Jane Foster, the Saga of Valkyrie. So after Jane Foster quit being Thor, she eventually ended up in the role of Valkyrie. And that went through several different series, and this compiles all of that to date. It's 376 pages for $39.99.
Then next up we have this big omnibus. This is 1,064 pages, and this is Immortal Iron Fist and Immortal Weapons. Both of those together in one big volume. Of course, you had Immortal Iron Fist by Ed Brubaker, and you had Immortal Weapons by Matt Fraction and Dwayne Swerinsky, all collected together. This is kind of one of those definitive runs on a character. Matt Fraction on here with David Aja is how he ended up doing Hawkeye later. So this is kind of the early stages of what would become that My Life as a Weapon Hawkeye series. And yep, this is all of it, 1,064 pages for $125. And then we have the Zurcher direct market variant.
All right, so check this out. James Tynion fans, pay attention. For just $50, you can get the collected hardcover edition of Razor Blades. So this is an independently published horror magazine that James Tynion did. I believe this is 388 pages. So this was not available to get through normal stores as it was coming out. This is the first time that we are able to get it to our customers. And I believe it's the first time it's ever been collected in this way too. So $50 for 388 pages of self-published horror magazine by James Tynion. He also had other creators, I guess, namely, I know Scott Snyder did some work in it too. So very cool, and definitely something I think a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, I think even when you could get it, you could only get it through a website, and you could get the digital version for like pay what you want, and then the regular edition was pretty expensive. So it's cool that it's being collected. And then we have, this one's so funny. It is called Spawn Record Breaker. If you didn't know, if Todd McFarlane hasn't told you enough times, Spawn has broken records. And this one actually collects the record-breaking issues from 290 to 301. I guess starting with, 300 was the record-breaking issue?
I think, 300 or 301, one of those two.
Yeah, this kind of gives you this story that was the record-breaking story of that. So you can get it for $16.99.
All right, and lastly, the trade paperback version of Memo is available for order. This is $14.99. This is art and story all done by Sass Millage, and it's about a young witch who has to choose between her own dreams of what she wants to do with her life and the destiny that is laid out for her by her much more powerful witch grandmother. So very creative story. If the art on the cover calls to you, that is definitely how the interior art looks. All done by the very talented Sass Millage for just $14.99.
A lot of customers around here are big fans of this. This was a real breakout hit.
Yep. And that is it. That is our show for today. So thank you for joining us on Comics from the Future. We hope we've done our job in telling you about all the comics that are still available to order. You can order one of them, you can order 5 of them, and you'll actually get them instead of being told from your store, sorry, we're out, or
Yep.
sorry, it's one per customer.
Yeah, there's a few in this week that I think are going to be that way.
Yes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That way you won't miss any of our other videos, and we appreciate it too. So thank you very much. And if you don't have a normal store and you would like to deal with us and our people, we'll leave some details here at the end. See you next time.